We can kind of talk about his background. As an American, he didn't go to college.
Won a bunch of his and her watches
that
I went and sold at a pawn shop, bought my first cart, and that's how it all got started.
Cool. KW makes the perfect suspension for every demand. Find them in the description below. Well, what's up, people? We're here at Laguna Seca Velocity Invitational, and we are in the McLaren garages. I've got the Genius Garage students out. We were actually supposed to bring the cars, had a little difficulty getting them out here, and Blaine is being camera guys, but it's a really exciting moment because for the Genius Garage students and having our very cool new Formula car and Indy cars, this is a really good opportunity for them to learn from the best. But today, we're gonna have fun and talk to Zach Brown, the CEO of McLaren Racing and McLaren Formula One, right now in the old school Condor. Let's go. All right, you guys, I have caught up with Zach Brown, the current CEO of McLaren Racing and Formula One. Zach, I appreciate you taking the time today.
Good to be here. You said current, like, let's see how much longer that lasts.
Well, life is finite.
It is Formula One.
And now you're doing quite well, and I appreciate it. But today I wanted to take the time, obviously I got a lot of younger viewers watching, everything like that. I wanted to go into your life as a racer and a business person leading up to that. So right now, guys, we're at the Velocity Invitational, and Zach, you've got a very cool Lancia GTP car that you're running personally.
Yep.
As well, of course, you're here with McLaren, a number of Formula One cars. What all are you guys running here?
So I brought 3 cars, which is my Lancia LC2, which sat on pole at Le Mans in '84.
Very cool.
Led for about 17 hours and then broke. Wasn't very reliable, but it's cool looking.
It's pretty.
It's really cool. And then I've got my 1980 Williams Alan Jones World Championship car.
Oh, I see. The guys just mentioned that. I didn't know you had it.
Yep, I had that. And then I brought out my Lewis Hamilton car, which is 2012 MP427.
Got it.
Which he won his last 2 races in with us, Italy and US. That was my toy set. And then we have a couple McLaren owners. Mika's driving his 98 championship car, and then a great customer has Lewis's 2011 car, and then we have a 2-seater that Mika's giving rides.
Oh, fantastic.
So we got some good toys out.
I saw that, and you're obviously representing really well, and frankly, I'm disappointed. I got the students here today and having fun and learning from you guys and everything you're doing so well, but I was really looking forward to running the Corvette GTO car with you guys out there.
Yeah,
cool GTO. But anyway, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to hint on. So many young racers watching. You started out in karts as a young man, mid-1980s and such. Where did the love for racing come, and what were you thinking when you were that young?
Yeah, my father used to take my brother and I to the races, and I'm originally from LA.
Okay.
It wasn't into racing, it was just kind of the father-son, once or twice a year. My first race was the '81 Long Beach Grand Prix.
Got it.
Alan Jones won, and then we did Riverside. It was kind of our local track, so saw some NASCAR there, and some IMSA, Campbell GT, and then used to go to the Pomona drag races. So that was kind of, you know, from about 81 to call it 85, probably did about 7, 8 races in that period. So I fell in love with the cars.
Yeah.
I used to stick around, wait for the driver autographs, end of the race, that whole thing. So it made a huge impression on me. And then in high school, I went to a school with someone who was a good buddy, whose family was into racing. Took me to the '87 Long Beach Grand Prix, and then that's when it was, I want to try and do this. That's when I started karting. I'd funded it in a bit of a unique way. I was on Wheel of Fortune Teen Week when I was about 13 years old. Won a bunch of his and her watches that I went and sold at a pawn shop, bought my first cart, and that's how it all got started.
Cool. Oh, very cool. Now, okay, so when you first started that when you were young, what was in your mind? How far did you want to take that? Were you just having fun?
No,
dreaming?
Formula One, dreaming Formula One, for sure. I think if you, and I was, I was pretty good in karts, won a lot of stuff, so at that age, it's such a dream, but it was definitely not, I just wanted to do this for fun. I was definitely serious about it. And raced against guys that got the Formula One, but I didn't.
I understand. Well, you did make it to Europe. You were running Formula Ford and some Renault or
Formula
Lotus
3, Opel Lotus, Vauxhall Lotus, same thing. Opel was what it was called in Europe, Vauxhall in England. So I did that from 92, 93, 94. Then I came back to the States, and then I raced 95 to 2000. I started my company, which again kind of tripped over that. That was never kind of a master plan.
Mid-1990s,
from 95, and then stopped racing in 2000. and focused on the business.
Okay. Now, for younger people out there, kind of finding that edge, it always seems like magic as we gloss over everything like that. I had heard a story, and maybe you can tell me if there's any truth to it or whatnot, but apparently there was a magazine, Business World, something like that, and there was an opportunity to have different ads in the magazine. And as the story goes, maybe you saw a vision or a value to use that as a type of leverage or an added thing to added value for motorsports marketing and sponsorship. Was that kind of in the early days when you were figuring it out?
Yeah, that would have been middle of the 90s.
Okay.
And it was Corporate Finance magazine.
Okay.
And I'd also been sponsored by Men's Fitness magazine. So I would take the magazine ad credit in the corporate finance standpoint. I would start to advertise my company and resell it on in packages of sponsorship to kind of provide greater value.
Right.
And then I did the same thing with Men's Fitness magazine. So I did that for quite some time, and worked really well. I still have my first Just Marketing ad ever happened in corporate finance magazine. And the thing that's cool is we used a picture of Danny Sullivan's 92 Calmer from Long Beach. Okay. That's just what we used. And I've got that car.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I
remember you reached out to me one time when I was showing all the IndyCar stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously a big collector.
I love my race cars.
The passion, same. So with regard to that and with young people, the drive to obviously be a racer is there. So you know the cars, you know the logistics, you know the business relating to that. And then you got into the marketing side, which obviously fuels racing as well as creating value for companies the world over. So I would say over the 20 years in building that, then the kind of the next chapter, I mean, obviously you're still a racer, here you are in a fire suit, but from when you were a younger man going specifically after racing, but then you really found traction in the business world and marketing, what was that chapter of your life like? Did you have the same tenacity as a driver then?
I eventually did. I think when I started it in '95, it was really just to make a living. It wasn't to build a business.
Right.
I had I didn't go to college, so I didn't have any business acumen. It was just fighting for survival.
Sure.
We got pretty good at it. So what started out of kind of my rental house, just on an extra phone, ultimately ended up becoming a couple hundred people.
Sure.
And then I did get very serious because, when you're 1 or 2, 3, 4 people, you can kind of goof around. You start getting to a dozen and 24, and all of a sudden,
the leadership
the stuff starts becoming real, and HR, rules, and taxes, and can't just kind of wing it. So then, then especially once I stopped driving, then I was 110% focused on business, and I would say I definitely took the same intensity to business and do today as I did when I was racing.
Well, and it was really that it evolved and evolved and evolved to your position in leadership to eventually where you are now with regard to McLaren, isn't it?
Yeah, just being laser focused and pursuing the dream. I think everything's possible. You can't quit.
Right.
You got to learn from your mistakes. You got to fess up to your mistakes, otherwise you can't learn from them. You're going to have reality is getting started. You're going to have more bad days than good days, and you got to get stronger and learn from that thing as opposed to get discouraged. And it can be discouraging, of course, but you got to kind of get back on the horse.
Well, the things you just mentioned are the aspects that I try to forge with my own students with Genius Garage and the work I do with that motorsports and helping them go that direction. I really appreciate that, and it's fantastic that you are bringing out some of the historic cars of your own with McLaren and bring that. What do you think, and where do you? Okay, let me put it this way: we are in a vintage McLaren camper. Cool. What is this that we're in right now?
This is a 1972, I think, is the year, Ford Condor.
Yes.
Which this was McLaren USA's motorhome. Okay. So this did Formula One, this did IndyCar, this did Can-Am. So
that's impressive.
Roger Penske remembers it well. And this was Denny Hulme, Peter Revson, Johnny Rutherford. We found some great stuff with it, and I found it on was it Bring a Trailer?
Yeah, I heard about that.
.com, and I had to have Buddy bid because I thought, well, I could get run up if they know who wants it, but I was going to do whatever it takes to get it, and it's all original. We did some mechanical work, kind of under the skin.
It all works well. Air conditioning works. It's
everything that's the one thing I added was a little bit of Wi-Fi and air conditioning. But short of that, what we're sitting on, this is what
Oh, I mean,
the McLaren team, and yeah,
when you get a beautiful Mark 8F, sitting outside.
So it's cool. So everyone else has their couple $1 million motorhomes, and I thought, let's do this. This is celebrates McLaren's history.
Well, let me put it this way: you didn't have to go this direction. There was nothing pushing you to get into the vintage spirit and do all this. But this was really you. This is your passion showing through.
I love the history of the sport.
Well, I really appreciate that. I guess kind of finalizing this for young people out there, what can you say to anyone young out there, obviously loves motorsports, a driver, a business person, an engineer, the things that were hugely valuable to you when you were young that you think would make a difference for them?
Mentors.
Yes.
You know, I had and I still do have a lot of mentors. Pushing hard every day, waking up early. You know, it's harder to be smarter than the next person, but you can work harder than them.
Sure.
So I think that I still do that.
Yeah.
To this day. And then, you know, you're going to make mistakes, but learn from those mistakes and own those mistakes. And you know, I think those. And then at the end of the day, I like to have fun. So
yeah, of course.
You know, if you're fun, it creates a good environment. People want to work with you. People want to be around you. It creates a good environment. So I think those are 3 or 4 of the things that I think, regardless of where you want to go in motorsports or in life, you kind of take those few things. That's at least what's worked for me, and I think that kind of can apply to all.
For sure. Okay, 2 things, then I'll let you go. I know you got a lot to do. What would you suggest, with everything current and going on right now in the world of McLaren racing, what's new on the horizon you want to tell people about, or where can they follow you to be a better fan?
You know, all our digital stuff.
Sure.
We live on digital. We love talking to our fans on digital. They talk to us. We talk back to them. So that's a great way to engage. And, you know, we've now got our Formula One team, of course, our IndyCar team, and a new Extreme E team, and then esports. I very much consider esports to be another form of real racing, because the technology there now in simulation, it's no longer a video game. So
when I see recently did a McLaren announcement with regard to a commitment more relating to sustainability and such.
Yeah, and that's around our Extreme E. You know, we've been carbon neutral with our building since 2011. We were the first team to get the FIA Carbon Trust Award, which was 2011. Next Formula One team got theirs in 2020. So I can't take any credit for that, because that was well before my time. But I certainly want to carry on.
But it's nice that it's happening.
Yeah, 100%. It's critically important.
Awesome. One last thing. I got a young student back there that he was the kid that built that 6-wheel go-kart, kind of like a little Tyrrell back when Tom said that. A huge fan of you and McLaren. Would you be so kind as to sign a couple pages for him and his friend?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. You owe me, Gene? Not really. That's a real pretty picture there. What do you think about that?
That's a cool car. What should we do here?
Whatever works best.
Perfect.
Let's go on. What do you think? There?
Let's do it.
Thank you, sir. Actually, there's Gene's right there.
Cool. I like it.
Thank you, sir.
Consider it done.
Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you. Cheers.
All right, you guys, I hope you really enjoyed that interview with Zak Brown. I really was excited to bring this to you just so we can kind of talk about his background. As an American, he didn't go to college. Being a young racer, wanting to race, wanting to go to Formula One as a driver, but then finding the business and the value for companies relating to motorsports marketing and sponsorship. Near and dear to my heart, except nowadays I'm doing it with YouTube. But definitely fun to see Zak again, and I'm glad you guys got to join us. And the Condor, how cool is that? I really appreciate that he's a real car guy, bringing this history and nostalgia alive and living it. You don't see that a lot anymore, and I think that just a man after my own heart, at least. And then lastly, I just have to say it, how can you not love the Mark 8F? Yes, a big block doorstop with wing fences and a wing. This is exactly the kind of car I want to drive. I got to get one someday. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Please hit that bell so I can keep bringing you good stuff, and subscribe. See you next time. Well, there's only one racing suit I've always dreamed of owning, and that's a Hinchman. Since 1925, Hinchman Racing Uniforms has been supplying suits to drivers ranging from Dale Earnhardt, Mario Andretti, and even Steve McQueen in the movie Le Mans. So guys, when it's time to go racing and you guys want to be safe and look amazing, let's go classic American. Get yourself a Hinchman.